Now, I made a load of videos about the minor pentatonic in a little mini-series about using them for solos and improvising, that sort of thing. Somebody rightfully put on one of my videos, can you slow down a bit and put the numbers, put the fret numbers, fingers up, all of that sort of thing. And I went, yeah, that's fair enough. I should have done that the first time. Still, you don't have to make do with looking at my face anymore, because it's going to be the fretboard, and I'm going to go through the 5 main positions of your minor pentatonic. Here we are. So we're going to work with G minor. So that is a 3rd fret to start with. Everything is going to be referenced to this particular position. However, it's important to learn really the finger patterns rather than the fret numbers, because then you can translate everything wherever you like up the neck. So working in G minor, we have this: index last, index annular, index annular, index annular, index last, index last. And that's how that works. It's very important to play the scale coming back down, because actually the physics of what you're doing is quite a lot different. You're starting with some fingers that you remove to reveal fingers underneath. Very different technique. It's important to make the notes last as long as possible, because then you get used to synchronizing the plectrum with your fingers, as opposed to this. You really want those notes to last as long as possible. Etc. So that is the first position of our minor pentatonic. Now the second position starts on the 2nd note. There's your 1st note, and there's your 2nd note. So this time, this note is going to be the one we're going to start on. Using your middle finger this time, we start on 6th fret, or the 2nd note of your minor pentatonic. Don't take too much notice of the fret number, as I said before, but it's middle finger start. So we have middle and last, index last, index last, index annular, middle last, and middle last. Now that's your 2nd position. Notice how I practice that going up and down as well. With the plectrum action, make sure that it's always a down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, regardless of the string changes, because then that makes you very quick with your right hand plectrum action. Now the 3rd position is the 3rd note of our minor pentatonic. Now it's that 3rd fret note there, but this time I'm going to translate it to the 6th string, which is 8th fret, like that. Now middle finger start again here. Middle finger, last finger, middle last, middle last, index last. Now we've got a little bit of a problem here, because you can't fit the notes in this position. So actually we have to skip a fret and go index, last, and then index, annular. So I'll just play that whole pattern again slowly with that fret change. There's a fret change. Fret change. And there's your 3rd position. So this one had a fret change in, but the remaining 2 don't. So it's only the 3rd position that has that fret problem. So the 4th position then, if we go back to our... So it's that note that we've then got to find on the 6th string. So that's 5th fret, which translates to 10th on here. This time we're going to start with the index finger again. So index last, index last, index annular, index annular, middle last, index last. So that's our fourth position. And then the final position, there's your fifth note there. Third note, third fret on the D string translates to 13th on the sixth string, on the E string. Now, middle finger start on this one. So we've got middle on 13th fret. So you can see it's one above the double. So there's your middle last, index last, index last, middle last, middle last. And if I go the sixth position, it's essentially the same as we started with. So it's this minor pentatonic on G. It does exactly the same here. But an octave up. Now I could opt to go another position here, middle finger. So that's the same as your second position that we had down here. So it's the positions are repeating themselves. So you can actually go all the way up according to how many frets you have. So there are the 5 main positions of your minor pentatonic. Now you can go between these. If I, for example, had my first position there, I could actually change to the second position anywhere in that scale. So the second position was this one. But I could play the first position and then shift to the second position. Now I can do that as many times as I like, really, so that you end up being able to go up and down the neck, which is just combining everything that you've learnt up until now with these 5 positions. So there we are then. There are the 5 main positions of the minor pentatonic. It happens to be on G, but it doesn't matter where it is. All the positions are relative to wherever the main key started. So I hope that helps.